Do you need encouragement to turn tragedies into your own triumphant life story? If so, this podcast is for you. Listen to powerful guests who have persevered through challenges so you can gain strength to build your championship life. The host of Professor of Perseverance podcast, Dr. James Perdue.
Hey, come on, it's time for us to get started. Time to get some inspiration, motivation. Time to get some fire me up. Yeah, that's what you say in the South. Fire me up, okay? All right, so today, hey, remember, grab a gold nugget or two out of here before I move on. Grab a gold nugget here. It's going to help you get through your next difficulty, your next challenge in life. And don't take it to the grave. Share it. Help someone else. Pay it forward. All right, today, our guest, what would you do if you were daughter, son, even any loved one, mom, dad, they said, hey, my leg's hurting. And, you know, they get it looked at and misdiagnosed, get it looked at again, misdiagnosed, get it looked at again, and finally, after years, finally get the right treatment and everything like that from there. So let's see what this mother did. And she's also picking up the journey from her daughter. Welcome to the show, Jody Hudson.
Hello there. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. I'm glad you're here. And on such short notice. So I told you I loved your story.
It was meant to be. You know what?
Well,
it was meant to be.
There we go. Yeah, I told you that loved your story so much I couldn't wait tomorrow. Just get it going here so we can get it on out there. So, all right, Jody. So again, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that you were a persistent mother to find the answers. So I'm going to sit back for a minute and you throw us in your story where you think it's best for us to jump in.
Sure. So as you had said in the beginning, my daughter, she was in 5th grade and she started having knee pain, joint pain, inflammation. And we just thought it was from her body being overworked with sports. She'd been playing soccer and all of the sports since she was like 5, 6 years old. So we took her to our family doctor. They thought it was, just, again, an overworked body. They thought maybe it could be growing pains, gave her, some Tylenol, sent her back home, said, you can wrap the knees, ankles, ice, and we're sure it will go away. Well, 10 years later, it didn't go away. It just kept getting progressively worse. Mm-hmm. Fast forward to when she was a freshman in high school, she was playing basketball, dribbling the ball down the court, and she immediately fell to the ground and her knees had swollen up to the size of grapefruit. Took her to an orthopedic doctor. He did knee surgery on her. He said that, if the right knee did well from the knee surgery, they would operate on the left knee. Well, nothing changed with the right knee, so we didn't do the left knee. A couple of years later.
Here with the surgery, they're still pretty much guessing.
Yeah.
They don't have an idea what the main underlying issue is yet.
No, not at all. Not at all. So they thought maybe it's just inflammation in the knee. They saw some meniscus that they thought maybe that was causing the problem. And then she started losing weight. And when I say losing weight, it wasn't just a couple of pounds. She was 5'6", 120 pounds, and she started getting down into like 90 pounds. And so then doctors started thinking maybe it was all in her head. Maybe she had an eating disorder because foods that she normally could eat, like pizza, oatmeal, she was reacting to these, and she was having allergic reactions, and she was having digestive problems. So it was just the perfect storm for all of this to boil into what it did. And unfortunately, she, at that point, we had gone through probably 40 doctors. And Alex was very smart. She graduated high school with honors. She had a full ride to UCLA, but she couldn't take it. So she, put it on hold and thought, well, I'll just take some junior college classes at home online until we figure out what's wrong with me, and I'll get stronger and healthier, and I'll be able to attend her dream school. And also during that time, we still kept searching for the right doctor that could figure out what was wrong with her. You know, she had been labeled a medical mystery for so many years, but she wouldn't take that, and neither would me.
Yeah.
So on her own, she found a doctor down at Cedars-Sinai. We made an appointment with him. Now, mind you, we had been 10 years in this journey, 40 plus doctors.
Uh-huh.
And this doctor, within 5 minutes of us telling him her medical history, asked me this question: Mrs. Hudson, has anybody ever diagnosed Alex with Lyme disease? Has she had a Lyme disease test? And in 2017, I asked a very ignorant question, and I said, "What's Lyme disease?"
There you go.
So then our journey began. But yes, it was a lot of pain and suffering for her, you know, and especially with the sports. I mean, after she had, you know, that last injury and episode as a freshman in high school playing basketball and having that knee surgery done, she could never run again. And you understand about disabilities, and when you are used to doing something and that is your whole, that's how you identify as a person. Her friends, her livelihood, everything was stripped from her at the same time that her body was turning against itself and losing weight, and you know, doctors thinking it was all in her head. It was a horrible time for her.
I can imagine horrible time for her, horrible time for mama, because I'm supposed to be the one to protect and make her feel better, and what we're doing is not working.
And you know what? As a parent, you just hit on a point right there. We fix things for our children, right? Whether it's when they're little, you know, scraped knee, when they get older, a broken heart from a boyfriend, girlfriend, you know, they don't do well on a test. We are always there to pick up our children and to fix things. And I couldn't fix this, and it was driving me crazy.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, yeah, because that's your job as a parent.
Right.
Yeah. And now everything you've tried just isn't working. So,
right.
All right. So the Lyme disease, you go, my daughter's she don't drink tequila. What are you talking about Lyme? So, disease, but you didn't catch my joke. Okay.
I did.
So going back, thinking, did you ever think, well, I'm assuming it come from a tick. Did y'all find a tick on her 10 years earlier and y'all removed it and you go, wow, that could be it?
No. So,
okay.
So to educate your listeners, so yes, Lyme disease is a bacterial infection caused by a tick bite. Unfortunately, only 35% of those that get bit by a tick get what's called a bullseye rash on their skin, which is a telltale sign that, oh, wow, I have been bit by a tick. I need to get to the doctor to get on antibiotics, which will help to control all of this so it doesn't develop into something worse like Lyme disease.
Yeah.
Alex never had that. And, you know, we have no idea where she got it from. I mean, she was your typical healthy child, you know, running around, you know, playing out, you know, on hikes, like doing all the things that typical kids do. So we never had any signs that she was actually bit by a tick. And the other thing with this is a lot of times when people do get bit by a tick and they don't realize that they've been bit by a tick, the symptoms mimic so many other diseases and so many other symptoms. And it really starts like a flu-like, you know, symptom, like your body just feels fatigue, you feel out of it. Well, you don't automatically think, oh, it's Lyme disease. You automatically think, oh, I need some rest. Maybe I'm getting a little flu bug or something.
Yeah.
And then if you go to your doctor and we aren't having those conversations about, you know, Lyme disease, well, the doctor, that's not going to be the first thing they're going to think about. They're going to think, oh, maybe you just, you know, need some rest, or let's, you know, run some lab work on you. But if you don't get tested for Lyme disease, you're not going to know. So you could be doing this whole battery of lab tests and blood work, but if they're not testing for Lyme disease, it's all for nothing.
As you found out.
Correct.
Yeah. So I read on the thing you took it. She took an aggressive uh, medicine, I guess, uh, to try to get this taken care of. It take
So,
like about a year.
oh my gosh. So when she was diagnosed in May of 2017, and I was a single mom, I was working for a nonprofit Catholic Charities. But when she received that diagnosis, like most parents, you go, okay, you have this diagnosis on your child. We're just going to knock it out. We're going to go to the best facility and she's going to be better. It might, require a couple weeks of treatment,
Yeah.
but that's okay. And that's what I did. Well, that plan didn't work. And so then I would research and take her to another facility and another facility. Now, in that year's time before Alex passed in 2018, in that 1 year's time, because insurance doesn't cover a lot of the Lyme treatment, especially when you stay at these facilities, I spent over $100,000 out of pocket.
Wow.
I sold her car. I did whatever I could do
Yeah.
because that's what we do for our loved ones, right? And she never, because she had this, Lyme disease in her body for 10 years, it impacted every organ in her body. And so basically her system just shut down and we could never get a leg up on it.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear about that. So,
Yeah.
well, I know you had near she forged ahead and was focused with her faith in serving others, even
Yeah.
though the pain was still with her. So I could see where you drawing a lot of strength from her.
Yes. So we, Alex and I are both Catholic, born and raised Catholic. And when Alex was really struggling with all of this, she was also struggling with her faith. And so she started seeking out other places of worship, and she came upon a non-denominational church. And that was unbeknownst to me. I knew that she, obviously wasn't attending church with me on Sundays, but I didn't realize that on her own, she was going out and finding other places of worship where she could reignite her faith. And so she stumbled upon this one church, and she loved it that much that she asked me if I would attend a service with her. And so I did. And that was my first time going to a non-denominational church, which was quite different than the Catholic church, where we're very, structured. You stand up, you sit down, you worship, but our worship is much different.
Mm-hmm.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved it. It resonated with us. And that first service, I remember Alex just, grabbing my hand. And when we started singing and worshiping and putting our arms up in the air, I knew at that time, like, everything is going to be okay. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with this journey, but Alex is finding her faith again, which is going to strengthen her. Ultimately, it's going to strengthen me. And together, we're going to be able to figure this out. And that kind of started our whole faith journey at the same time that we were trying to figure out, like, what type of treatment would, best serve Alex. So definitely, in this book that I write, My Promise to Alex, it's 50% on Lyme disease, but it's also 50% on her faith journey. And, the most astonishing thing for me as a parent was to not only witness my daughter just plunging deeper and deeper into her faith, but what she was doing for others in those moments, showing up for others, encouraging others in the Lyme community, just like we have now on, social media and Facebook and even podcasts. You have those community support groups. Well, Alex was plugging into as many as she could, and she was just trying to encourage others and give them, that positivity, even though she knew her own life was, crumbling in front of her own eyes. And when she was bedridden towards the last couple of months, especially December, January, we started having a prayer couple come into our home, which really helped her tremendously. We also had hospice coming in, but hospice was really only there just to take her vitals. I mean, she wasn't on any pain medication. This child wanted to be so present in her journey and in her walk and what was happening with her body and her mind and her spirit, that she never even took Tylenol, which I just look at
Wow.
her and go,
Yeah.
talk about perseverance. Like, where did you
Yeah.
get that strength from? And I knew she got it, obviously from God. And so I talk about that in the book, just her determination and her grit, and how she was able to cling on to her faith, which ultimately helped her at the end.
Let me back up just a second ago. You did say perseverance. So look on the screen and give you a fist bump. All right.
All
So,
right.
okay. Yeah, it's amazing how children are, that she would rather be right minded
Yes.
and accept the pain so
Yep.
she's not delirious about something that may weaken her strength and somebody else witness it.
Exactly. Yes. And I
That's
think
that's amazing.
with her prayer couple, they had talked a lot about redemptive suffering. And I think she found that she could attach her pain and suffering to help somebody else out. So, it's like anything in life that you go through, you can flip the switch. You can, try and get yourself out of your circumstances and focus on the betterment of somebody else. And that's what Alex did. And, it reminds me every day, I try and be like Alex and always look for the good. And if
Yes.
I'm going through a bad situation, how can I turn that around, and how can I, help others? Because Alex was so good at doing that.
Now you need to get your own bracelets. WWAD.
Yes, exactly.
There you go. So with this, I'm just amazed because I've met other children. It seemed like when they're really convicted, they want to, like I said, they want people to see it and learn from them,
Yes.
and again, don't want anything that could judge, not judge, but again, misunderstand what they may be saying because taking the medicine, and because they don't want other people to go, wait a minute, that's not right, you know. And so, if I could stand, I'd give her a standing ovation, but I can get a sitting ovation for her, and but that's remarkable. So from there. Now,
And that's why, I needed to put that all in print, because I wanted people to understand her journey, and I wanted people to see the strength that she was able to draw from. And even like my inner circle, my girlfriends, I was so consumed with trying to get Alex to be better from 2017 to 2018. I couldn't take a lot of them on my journey, because I was pouring all of my energy and time and money and resources into getting Alex to feel better. And when so many people, after I wrote this book, read the story, they're like, God, Jody, like, we didn't know that you were
we
going
didn't
through
know.
all of that. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
we didn't know. Yeah.
I didn't have time to like tell people, right?
Yeah. And a lot of people out there, as well as I do, is just they want to help, but they don't know how to help. And
Exactly.
if we don't say, could you do something, they don't know what to do.
Right.
And I mean, I've been there. It's one of my worst. I call it my sinful pride, asking
Mhm.
for help. But
Right.
that's they want to do something. They just don't know what to do.
And
So,
that is such a good point. And I think I've learned from that experience. And after Alex had passed, I I made sure that I allowed people to go through that act, right? Because they needed it for themselves as well.
mhm.
So Lord knows I had so much food, I, couldn't eat all of it, but like whatever they wanted to do, I gladly accepted it, because people need to feel important, and they need to feel like they are able to help somehow, some way, just to show
Exactly.
love.
Exactly. Yeah. This is my way of doing
Yep.
something, and I know it's making it easier for you. Yeah, but I don't know what to do. Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
you ever had anybody do the old "Don't steal my blessing"? You ever hear that?
No.
Yeah. I used to be a school teacher and coach our basketball team, and you can see basketball right there. We won the state championship one year, and
Nice.
and so So it was time for our 8th grade awards day and everything. And I had twins that had been in my classroom a year earlier, and they went to church with me. And as they're getting ready for this ceremony, their dad come up to me and says, "Hey, Coach, I noticed one of your tires is about half flat. Give me your keys. I'll go get it aired up for you." I said, "Oh yeah, yeah. Thank you for thinking of me. I appreciate that." And so he comes back later, hands my keys. I said, "Hey, you get everything taken care of? How much I owe you for getting air?" "Nothing. It's go ahead." I said, "All right." I go out there and look. He put 4 brand new tires on my car.
Wow.
And then someone saw me at church. I said, "Man, I owe you for these tires. Don't steal my blessing."
Oh, I love
So
that. I'm gonna remember that from now on. Don't steal my blessing.
yeah, when you're helping someone and they stupid like me try to, no, I got to pay you back. I got to do, don't steal my blessing.
I
So
love that.
yeah. So from there. All right. Now how old was she when she passed?
22.
22. I did see a picture of her, very attractive young lady, and sure, very, very much missed. So
And it's funny, since she's passed, when you showed the cover of the book, there's a bluebird on there. And the significance of the bluebird is when I knew that I wasn't going to have a lot more time with her. I told her, I said, Alex, selfishly, like, I need to still be able to talk to you. I still need
mhm.
to know that you're around me. Like, we've always had code words before in the past. Like, what is going to be our code word, or what is going to be our thing? So I'll know that you're there.
Yeah.
And she said, a bluebird. And I said, oh, why a bluebird? She goes, because every day, Mom, when I look outside the window and I look at our fountain in the courtyard, a bluebird appears at 3:00. And she
Oh,
goes,
wow.
when I see that bluebird, she goes, I know that I have another day here on earth and God hasn't forgotten about me. And you will never forget about me because you'll always see me in a bluebird. And I swear to God, every day I see a bluebird somewhere. Like when I drive out of the driveway, I'll see a little bluebird in the tree. When I go somewhere, I'll see like a little bluebird. So it's like they just pop up everywhere. And with my friends, like when Alex passed away, oh my gosh, like a day or two after the funeral service, I would have my friends say, Jody, you aren't going to believe this. I've never seen a bluebird in my backyard, and there's one right now. I mean,
Wow.
it's just, yeah, it's beautiful. So that is our little sign to each other.
Again, she's stronger than I would be, because I'd be saying, when you look at a banana split, think of me. So again, to me, it just shows you again how mature she was.
So
How
mature.
yeah, so much again thankful, thinking ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have thought like that
Yep.
from there. So any other children?
Yes. So I have a son who is 32. He lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and he works with autistic children.
All right,
So,
good.
yes, I'm so proud of him. He and Alex were the best of friends. And, there's a lot of talk about parents when they lose their child, but I have to tell you, a sibling losing a sibling is even worse.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been very, very hard on him. And he sees
Yeah, well,
bluebirds.
that close. Yeah.
Yes.
So
And he
yeah.
sees bluebirds, and we both see the number 22 a lot. And that was like her sport number. It's
Mhm.
ironic that she died at 22. It's just a lot of different signs. But yeah, the bluebird in 22, we definitely see a lot. I don't see any banana splits, but I do see the bluebird.
There you go. Well, that banana splits when you wanted to look for me, not
There you go.
for Alex. So
Yes.
that'd come at a different time, I'm sure. So, and I tell people I had number 23 way before Michael Jordan did. So,
Uh,
all right, I probably can't prove it, but I did. Okay. So, all right, man, I just love the story that you decided to pick it up basically
yep.
where she's left off,
Yep.
to encourage the next people, next generation, next people in the future, however it is. And so I'm just glad that you're doing that.
Well, and also, I picked up her baton after she passed because, as I said, Alex had a full ride scholarship to UCLA. She was very, very smart. and she wanted to do what I was doing, which is work in the nonprofit field, but she wanted to do it for Lyme disease.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew that I would have to start a foundation in her honor. So I started the Alex Hudson Lyme Foundation, and we have been, going strong ever since 2018. We put on different fundraisers. We work with national Lyme organizations throughout the country. We work with the Girl Scouts of America. We developed a national Lyme curriculum so the girls can actually learn about Lyme disease, and then they receive a patch, one patch from their troop, and then a patch that has the Alex Hudson Lyme Foundation logo on it. So that's very special to me. And every month in May is Lyme Disease Awareness Month. So I'm always speaking about Lyme disease, also talking about the education, the prevention, and then also, mixing in Alex's story. So yes, I'm very honored to do that and to share Alex's story with whoever wants to listen.
I tell people, what's that song? I forgot who sings it. I want to talk about me, So that's what you need to go talk about, me and Alex.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, I'm glad that making this awareness, because like you said, unless you have an idea to get this Lyme disease tested, people don't test for it. I didn't realize that till you said that, but it seems like it's fighting a losing battle of pulling a tooth to try to get them to do it. You've been through this and this and this and this and this and this. Well, let's try this just to get it out of the way.
And I feel like we have come a long ways, though. I mean, in 2017, when Alex was diagnosed, I don't think people were talking about it as much. But, celebrities, I have to tell you, they really can get the word out there. And with Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake, who both have Lyme disease, there's several others, people listen to them, and they, if something's talked about and people are like, oh, I wonder what is Lyme disease? Did you know that this guy had it? Let me look it up. So, on their own, people are doing research and learning about it. So, and the doctors too. I feel like doctors are testing more and more for it. So
good.
They're definitely on a good path moving forward.
Good deal. Justin
Bieber and
Timberlake.
Timberlake.
Yeah. He lives like an hour and a half from me.
Oh, wow.
I've never been to his house, but he lives an hour and a half. So he'd run me off real fast. So.
Also, with this current administration, I don't know if you saw, but Kennedy had a big panel, and he brought together a couple of people that I know, and they talked about Lyme disease and how they're going to, put more money into that for research and for education and the testing. So that's all very positive too. So yeah, I'm very encouraged by what I see out there in the community.
Good deal. Yeah, that's just the main thing with anything is you got to get the awareness out there.
Exactly.
And the sad thing again, you had to find a celebrity that's gone through it for them to step up and say, hey man, this ain't no joke.
Right.
Like for me, a spinal cord injury, sad, but we had old Superman, got his neck broke.
Yes.
For him to kick the ball rolling harder than we could.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's sad it takes someone up higher.
Right.
To get that recognition. It's sad.
Exactly. Yep. So you understand more than most, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember one of the Super Bowls, and I remember he couldn't move from his neck down. All of a sudden, one of the Super Bowl commercials, it shows Chris Reese stand up and walking across the stage. I'm going, what the? I need to find out what's going on here. And of course, it was all, I don't know if we call it AI back then.
Right.
It just they're editing or whatever it is, doing. But yeah, I was going, what's going on here? So all right. Well, I appreciate you being here and sharing. And I want to give me a copy of your book.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
My Promise to Alex, Jody Hudson with Penelope Childers. So
it's amazing that this book even came about, because I'm a businesswoman and I write business proposals, I write grants. I don't write just to write, and I didn't journal, and neither did Alex. But one night, God really put this in my heart to write this book. And so I sat down and I knocked it out in 4 months. And that is also with working full time and doing, Alex's foundation. And this book has just taken on its own angel wings. I mean, it's been on Amazon for a couple of years now. We have about 155-star reviews. I have people like reaching out to me from all over the country, all over the world, actually, because they read the story, and so many people have stories similar with not with their child passing away, but a son or daughter that has Lyme disease or has had like a medical mystery that doctors, couldn't figure out. And so I love how Alex's story has touched so many people, and it continues to touch so many people. So I'm very appreciative of, just the journey that I've been on, and it hasn't always been great, right? Just like your journey.
Yeah.
But that's why, Professor of Perseverance. I love it. I love the name of your podcast, and that's what we have to keep reminding ourselves, just persevere.
All right, John Bentley, thank you. She'll send you $1 for saying that. So, all right. I'm just glad that you're able to take off this and run with it. And like I said, Lyme disease is not United States only; it's everywhere. And so to get that across the pond and all the other countries to take awareness of it, she was ahead of her time.
Yes, she was.
Here to be able to, like I said, I stumped my toe and I'm ready to take a Tylenol. No, I don't. I don't take Tylenol. I take Advil. That's what I take, Advil. So, and
I'm like that too. I mean, I would have definitely handled my disease differently, and would have definitely reached for the not the pain pills, but the Advil, the Tylenol, all that type of stuff. So I just she was definitely not of this world. She was definitely a saint.
Well, and you're definitely ahead of your time too, to keep going, keep pushing and persevering, and so I'm glad that you're doing this for her.
Thank you.
Not just for her, for everybody else in the future, possibly with Lyme disease. But yeah, so all right, Jody, go ahead and tell everybody your social media, where we can get your book,
sure,
your websites. Go ahead and tell everybody.
Right. So you can go to www.alexhudsonlymefoundation.org. All of my social media handles are on there. There's also a link, an Amazon link to my book. Again, it's called My Promise to Alex. And there's also contact information, my email. If people want to reach out to me, I always respond to anyone's request, as far as even if they just need, a listening ear. I'm definitely that person for them. So I just appreciate you having me come on, talking about Alex's story. And, you just never know who's listening that could use some help.
That's right. That's right. And the way the world is going today, we need a lot of help.
Yes, we do.
We need a lot of these stories to come out from there. So, all right, Jody, thank you for being here. Hey, we know people are hurting and struggling today. If you can leave us with a positive message, that'd be a blessing.
My positive message would be is your life is not defined by your circumstances. So grab the joy and just go for it.
Get her done.
Get her done. Get her done. And I really like my second one would be don't steal my blessings.
Oh, there you go.
My second one would be stealing yours. Don't steal my blessings. I love that. That's
right. Let's see if we can pass that around a little bit.
I love that.
Going, don't steal. Yeah, I remember that first time it happened to me. Someone that I had to back off when they said that. So,
yeah. No,
I love I've used it a few times since then.
Well, then let's use it again today, because I love that one.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, Jody, and thank you for honoring Alex and from there.
All right. Take care.
You take care, and everybody else, share us out with someone that needs some Fire Me Up Inspiration. I'm Dr. James Purdue, the professor of perseverance. Do something today, tomorrow, something next week that's going to help you persevere past your paralysis.